If you guys want to be in with a chance of winning a copy of FIFA 20 on either console of your choice, all you need to do is leave a like on the video, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. Best of luck and enjoy the video. Hey guys, Etherway here, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be showing you guys some of the best new cheap and overpowered players from the Premier League on FIFA 20. All of these players should be fairly inexpensive, but have some really good stats, making them ideal for start squads. Now when I say new, I either mean new transfers, players who play for newly promoted teams, or who are likely to receive big upgrades compared to FIFA 19. So on the whole, you probably won't have used many of these players on FIFA 19, at least in the Premier League. So they're new cards, and I think a lot of you guys will enjoy using them on the new FIFA. So if you guys do enjoy the video, if you do, don't forget to leave a like on it, subscribe if you're new around here, and without further ado, let's go on into it. First up, we've got Gamma, a new signing for Everton as a replacement for Adressa Gay, and I think he's going to be the go-to cheap defensive midfield option in the Premier League on FIFA 20. If you can't quite afford the likes of Ndombele and Fred, or at a higher budget, maybe Pogba and Kante, he's going to be your go-to man. He should be fairly inexpensive and is likely to have some pretty decent stats. This is of course just a prediction, as with all the other players in this video, because the ratings for FIFA 20 are yet to be announced, but you should have fairly similar stats to this: good pace, defending and physical, decent stats going forwards, and he'll be quite tall as well. And playing for Everton, there are lots of good cheap Everton players on FIFA 20 that you're going to see throughout this video that you can link into him, so I think he's going to be a great player to try out in your starter team. Next up is Pukki, the current joint top scorer in the Premier League. He's had a great start to the season with Norwich. I've given him a 78 rating overall, but it could be even higher based on the start of the season he's had. He's going to have some really nice stats, and given that he's Finnish and plays for Norwich, quite hard to link into teams, so shouldn't be too expensive at all. But he's going to have really good pace, decent dribbling, shooting and physical, and is also likely to receive the first Player of the Month card on FIFA 20. He's currently the favourite for the award, and that's going to be fairly inexpensive, but a really good option again for your star teams. He's probably going to be like 30 or 40k, maybe 85 rated, with some great stats. So keep an eye out for that one, but just his regular gold card as it is looks very, very good. Next up is Leandro Trossard, a new signing for Brighton, previously playing for Genk in the Belgian Pro League. He's going to be a great option on the left-hand side of midfield, or even as a central cam or striker if you move him there in game. He's likely to have over 80 for pace, dribbling and shooting, and decent passing as well. You may think those stats are a little excessive of a player of his rating, but on FIFA 19 he's got over 80 for shooting, pace and dribbling, and he's only 78 rated. So given he's made that big move to the Premier League, he is likely to receive an upgrade on top of that, and those stats are going to be very, very nice. But I think he will be fairly inexpensive just because he plays for Brighton, so it's a little bit harder to link into teams, and there are a whole host of options in that position in the Premier League. We've then got Djibril Sidibe, a new signing for Everton, and I think he's going to be one of the go-to cheap options on the right hand side of defence in the Premier League, especially for starter teams. If you can't quite afford the likes of Wan-Bissaka, Alexander-Arnold, Cancelo and Walker, he's going to be your man. He's got good pace, defending and physical, decent stats going forwards as well, and he is 6 foot tall. It's hard to find tall fullbacks, and having height in that position is important because it means they win those back post headers, both defensively and going forwards. And given these French and plays in the Premier League, you've got so many options for hybrids as well, or of course you could just link him in someone like Gabin, and you've got yourself a very good right hand side of midfield and defence. We've then got Joe Linton, yet another new signing, this time for Newcastle United. I think this card's going to be fairly inexpensive because of his rating, but really, really good with good pace, dribbling, shooting and physical. He's also really tall at 6'3", and in FIFA 20 physicality is very important, and he's got those kind of attributes in abundance. As I said, he's tall, he's got good strength, and he can hold his own. He can hold the ball up very well, he's going to dominate the air, and all round is going to be a great cheap starter option in your Premier League team. Next up is Tyrone Mings, who is an integral player in Aston Villa's promotion last season, and although he's played a lot of his career as a left back, has been recently playing in the centre of defence, and I'm hoping that's where he's going to be positioned on FIFA 20, because there's a real lack of good cheap Premier League centre backs. There's a lot of players in that position, but they're either slow, cheap and bad, or they're good and then therefore quite expensive. But I think because of his rating, he's going to be fairly inexpensive, but he's going to have good pace, good physical, it's good defending, and he's 6'5" as well. He's an absolute monster, so he would really dominate the air, and I think would suit that centre-back role very well. And he'd also bring decent passing and dribbling ability because he used to play as a fullback, so he's going to be decent going forward. So I think would be a really, really good option, and because of his rating and club, he'd be super cheap as well. Now you may see Jared Deulofeu and wonder, why is he in this video? Because he's not a new signing, he's not going to get a big upgrade or anything like that. The reason he's here is because he's likely to receive a position change from a right mid to a central player, maybe a centre forward or a striker, given he played a lot of games there last season. option. And it's going to be an interesting new card to try out. I think he may be a little bit more expensive, maybe 10 or 15k depending on his rating. So once you've built that cheap starter team with players that are maybe going to cost you like 1 or 2k each, and you've started completing some objectives and trading and all that, and you get more coins, he could be one of your upgrades. I think he's going to suit FIFA 20 very well because he's quick, but he's got really good agility, balance and pace as well, which I think is even more important than that pace. Because if you're good at dribbling and you've got a player who has those kind of stats, you can beat players so easily. Dribbling is very effective on FIFA 20, and I think he's going to suit that very well. And given that he's Spanish as well, opens up a lot of hybrid options, and I think could be a good fun player to try out on FIFA 20. Next up is Douglas Luiz, a new signing for Aston Villa, and although he's unlikely to have any amazing stats, he's unlikely to have any bad stats either. It's just going to be a nice well-rounded card. He's likely to have over 70 in every attribute, and he'd suit a defensive midfield role or a box-to-box midfield role very well, where he can just sit back, break up the play, and then get forwards and contribute with goals and assists as well. And given that he's Brazilian and plays for Aston Villa, you've got a lot of hybrid options available, and you could also get strong links into plenty of other players you're going to see in this video. I've already shown you guys Mings, and there are 1 or 2 other Aston Villa players coming up as well. We've then got Miguel Almiron, yet another good cheap Premier League attacking midfield option. Because there are so many players in that role, all with similar kind of ratings and stats, I doubt any of them are going to be too expensive. Obviously you've got the higher end cards like De Bruyne who will be, but someone like Almiron you'll probably be able to get for about 2,000 coins, and he's going to bring some good stats to your team. Decent shooting and passing, along with great passing and dribbling and 4-star skill moves, and although he's Paraguayan, making him quite hard to link into hybrids, you've got some good Newcastle players this year like Joe Linton and Alain Saint-Maximin, and if you get those 3 linked together, you're going to have a really good trio in your star team for a decent price. Next up is Trezeguet, and no, he is no relation to the former French striker and icon David Trezeguet. I believe he was nicknamed Trezeguet because of his playing style when he was younger by a youth coach, and it stuck ever since. He recently signed for Aston Villa, having had a great season last year in the Super League, and he's going to have a card fairly similar to this, probably with 4-star skill moves. And because there are so many players in this position in the Premier League, like Trossard, who you've already seen, and plenty of others, he's probably going to be fairly inexpensive. Also, if you combine that with the fact that he's Egyptian and plays for Aston Villa, he's quite hard to link into teams, so he's probably only going to be like 1 or 2,000 coins, but it's going to be a really good cheap option for starter teams. Next up is Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who will probably be by far and away the most expensive player out of this list, just because he plays for Man United. There's that hype factor, and he's going to have an amazing card. He'll probably be about 15 to 25k depending on his rating. He's not going to be quite as good and quite expensive as the likes of Walker, Cancelo and Trent Alexander-Arnold, but behind them he's going to be one of the go-to options in this position in the Premier League. He's going to have some really good stats both defensively and going forwards, and he's tall as well, which is quite hard to find for fullbacks. You always want to have fullbacks who are at least 6 foot so they win those back post headers, and I believe he is 6'2", which is very nice. So he's going to be one a bit like Deulofeu. Once you've used those starter players, maybe someone like Sidibe or Yedlin for a couple of games, and you've got more coins, you can start upgrading your team to Wan-Bissaka. One of those more mid-tier options, but a very good one. We've then got Mason Mount, technically a new signing for Chelsea. Previously he was playing for Derby, but I believe he was on loan, and he's going to have a decent card. He started the season very well. He's going to have good pace and dribbling, hopefully 4-star skill moves and decent shooting and passing too. I've already shown you guys a whole host of options with very similar stats and ratings in this position, so because of that, as I've already said, he's not going to be too expensive. Playing for Chelsea in England though may increase his price a little bit more, and there is a player you'll see in a moment who will get a hyperlink to him, which could be very good for hybrids. Now, earlier on in the video I said there's a lack of good cheap Premier League centre backs, but Jesus Vallejo could be yet another option there. He recently signed for Wolves from Real Madrid, and he's going to have good pace, defending and physical, and given that he's Spanish, he's going to offer a lot of good hybrid options, maybe to someone like El Mosso, for example, who plays for Atletico Madrid, who recently had his official rating and stats leaked, and he looks amazing. As a centre back, he's got nearly 80 pace and good defending and physical as well, and he's only like 78 or 79 rated, so he'll be super cheap. And Vallejo, just because of the fact that he plays for Wolves, he's not going to have an amazing card. He's probably only going to be like 1 or 2,000 coins, which means he's very good for a stars team. Maybe use him alongside Mings, and you've got yourself a very well balanced centre back duo. But ultimately, we've got Alain Saint-Maximin, who I think is going to be one of the most popular players at the beginning of FIFA 20, especially if he gets 5-star skill moves. I've heard a lot of rumours about that because he is a very skillful player. He's also a very quick player, and he's likely to have decent shooting and passing as well. Given that he's French and plays in the Premier League, you've got so many hybrid options, and I've already shown you guys both Almiron and Joe Linton, who you can get strong links into with him, and you've got DeAndre Yedlin as well, the right back from the United States, who also plays for Newcastle, who's got a very, very nice card as well. At least on FIFA 19, he's very, very quick, so he could be a good option there to link into him. Alassane Maxima, he's probably going to be a little bit more expensive, maybe about 10 to 20k, depending on his rating and stats, but he's going to have a very, very good card. Finally, we've got Tammy Abraham. He's the player I said you could link into Mason Mount. Those two in the middle, getting that hyperlink, you're sorted for chemistry, and you can build your team from other leagues, so it could be a good option there for hybrids, and he's going to have a nice card. Good pace, dribbling, shooting, and physical, and he's also very tall. It's a very similar card to Joe Linton. You could even use the two of them up front together and just spam crosses into the box, and I'm sure you'd have an absolute field day doing that. You could also partner him up next to a pacier player, and you can hold the ball up with Abraham and bring them into play that way. But I think he's going to be a good cheap option, and he's had a decent start to the season as well, so may even receive some upgrades in the future. But with that, that is going to be the end of the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Let me know down below in the comments, what other leagues would you like to see in this kind of mini series? I always like doing these types of videos in the build up to a new FIFA, finding new hidden gems, new signings, new transfers, big upgrades, all those types of things. There's lots of cool players, and it always gives you guys ideas, and me ideas as well for starter teams. If you guys actually want to see a Premier League starter team, kind of like a cheap squad incorporating some of these players and a few others, let me know down below in the comments, and leave a like on the video. If we can smash, let's say, 500, because recently the likes have been blowing up, I will get that video done over the next couple of days. But yeah, hopefully you guys did enjoy this. It's actually the second time I've recorded this. I literally spoke for 40 minutes to realise I hadn't actually recorded my face cam, which was quite annoying. But yeah, I think, let me just check, I have actually recorded my face cam this time, so all good, and it only took half an hour. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll catch you guys later. Take care.